So your shower head is spraying sideways, your faucet is down to a trickle, and you are standing in the cleaning aisle staring at 14 different bottles that all promise to fix it. $10 for this one, $12 for that one. Some fancy descaler in a spray bottle that smells like chemical lavender. And here is the thing. Your grandparents fixed every single one of these problems with a jug of white vinegar that cost about $3. They were not being cheap. They were being smart. Because the chemistry has not changed, only the marketing. Today, I'm going to walk you through 12 old-school vinegar fixes that modern products still cannot beat. And if you stick around to the end, I will show you a bonus trick that can save you over $150 on a single service call. Let us get into it. Look, before there were entire store aisles dedicated to specialty descalers and plumbing cleaners, every household had 1 gallon of plain white vinegar under the sink. And it handled just about everything. The reason is simple, and once you understand it, you will never look at those overpriced bottles the same way again. So let me give you the quick science before we start fixing things. Here is what is actually happening inside your pipes and fixtures. That crusty white and green buildup you see everywhere, that is limescale. It is calcium carbonate, and it is alkaline. White vinegar is acetic acid, typically 5% concentration, which is the standard stuff you grab at the grocery store. When an acid meets an alkaline mineral deposit, it dissolves it. That is not a hack. That is not a home remedy. That is basic chemistry. The same reaction that a $10 bottle of specialty descaler uses, except they have added fragrance, a fancy label, and a $7 markup. Your grandparents knew this. Now you do too. Let us put it to work. Fix number 1. The overnight shower head soak. You know those shower cleaner sprays that run about $8 to $10 a bottle? They want you to spray your shower head, wait 2 minutes and wipe. And it barely works because mineral buildup inside the nozzle holes needs time and contact to dissolve. Here is what actually works. Grab a plastic bag. A sandwich bag is fine. Fill it about halfway with undiluted white vinegar and rubber band it right over your shower head so the entire face is submerged. Leave it overnight, at least 8 hours. In the morning, pull the bag off. Turn the water on full blast for about 30 seconds to flush everything out and use an old toothbrush to clear any loosened deposits from the nozzle holes. You will not believe the difference. Jets that were spraying sideways or completely blocked will fire straight again like the day you installed it. Total cost? Maybe 15 cents worth of vinegar. Fix number 2. Aerator descaling that resurrects faucets people throw away. This one drives me crazy because I have seen homeowners spend $150 replacing a perfectly good faucet because the water pressure dropped to nothing. 9 times out of 10, the problem is not the faucet. It is the aerator, that little screen piece threaded onto the tip of the spout. Unscrew it by hand or wrap a rag around it and use channel locks if it is stuck. Drop it into a cup of straight white vinegar and let it soak for 2 to 4 hours. For heavy buildup, leave it overnight. Pull it out, rinse it under water, use a toothpick or needle to clear any remaining debris from the screen, and thread it back on. I have done this hundreds of times and watched a faucet go from a sad dribble back to full pressure in less than a day. You just saved yourself a trip to the hardware store and a whole lot of money. Fix number 3. Freeing seize shutoff valves and corroded hose threads. Every plumber has grabbed a shutoff valve under a sink that has not been turned in 10 years, and it will not budge. Before you start forcing it and risk snapping the valve stem, try this. Soak a rag in white vinegar and wrap it around the valve stem and the packing nut. Secure it with a rubber band or just drape it so it stays wet. Let it sit for a couple of hours, re-wetting the rag once or twice if it dries out. The vinegar will work into the corroded threads and dissolve the mineral crust that is locking everything in place. Same technique works on garden hose threads that have seized onto the spigot. Wrap, soak, wait. After a couple hours, try turning the valve gently. You will feel it start to give. A little penetrating oil after the vinegar treatment, and you are back in business. This has saved me from replacing valves more times than I can count. By the way, if you are finding this helpful, you should know this is just a taste of what I have put into my book, 50 Easy Plumbing Fixes that will save you $10,000. It covers everything from leaky faucets to running toilets, step by step with diagrams. You can grab your copy by scanning the QR code on screen right now, or just use the first link in the description below. All right, let us keep going. Fix number 4. Dissolving toilet bowl mineral rings without pumice damage. Those hard water rings inside your toilet bowl, the ones that laugh at your toilet brush, most people either ignore them or attack them with a pumice stone. And pumice works, but it can scratch the porcelain glaze, which actually makes future staining worse. Instead, turn off the water supply to the toilet and flush to drop the water level. Pour about 2 cups of undiluted white vinegar directly onto the ring area. If you can, use a spray bottle to coat the parts above the water line. Let it sit for at least 4 hours. Overnight is better. Come back, hit it with a toilet brush, and that ring will break apart without scratching a thing. For really stubborn rings, make a paste with vinegar and baking soda, spread it on, and give it another couple hours. The porcelain stays smooth, and the ring is gone. Fix number 5. Cleaning the toilet tank and rim jets to restore flush strength. If your toilet seems like it is losing flush power over time, the problem is almost never the flapper or the fill valve. It is the rim jets, those little angled holes under the lip of the bowl that create the swirl when you flush. They get clogged with mineral deposits and bacteria, and the flush gets lazy. Here is how you fix it. Pour about 3 cups of white vinegar into the overflow tube inside your tank. That is the vertical pipe in the center. The vinegar will flow down into the rim jet channels and sit there. Let it work for at least a couple hours, then flush. Use a small piece of wire or an Allen wrench to carefully poke out any remaining deposits from each jet hole under the rim. Flush again and watch. You will see a noticeably stronger swirl. While you are at it, pour a cup of vinegar into the tank itself and let it sit for an hour to clean the internal components. Just do not let vinegar sit in the tank for days on end, because prolonged contact can wear on rubber flappers and gaskets. Fix number 6. Descaling kettles and coffee makers. This is the one most people already know, but I am including it because it is the gateway fix. If you trust vinegar to clean something you drink from, you can trust it everywhere else. For a kettle, fill it halfway with equal parts white vinegar and water. Bring it to a boil. Let it sit for 20 minutes, then rinse thoroughly. For a coffee maker, run a 50-50 mix of vinegar and water through a full brew cycle with no coffee in the basket. Then run 2 cycles of plain water to rinse. Those $8 coffee maker cleaning pods? Citric acid and fragrance. Vinegar does the same thing and costs you about a dime. Fix number 7. The hot vinegar washing machine cycle. Those washing machine cleaner pouches that run $6 to $8 for a 3-pack, they are designed to remove the same mineral buildup and soap residue that vinegar handles just fine. For a top loader, set it to the hottest, largest cycle. Let it fill, then pour in 4 cups of white vinegar. Let it agitate for a minute, then pause the cycle and let it soak for an hour. Then let the cycle finish. For a front loader, pour 2 cups of vinegar into the detergent dispenser and run a hot clean cycle, or the hottest setting available. Do this once a month and your machine will stay fresh. Your clothes will come out cleaner, and you will never buy those pouches again. One tip though, do not add vinegar at the same time as bleach. I will explain why in a minute. Fix number 8. The dishwasher cup on the top rack cycle. Same concept, even simpler. Place a dishwasher safe cup or measuring cup right side up on the top rack of your empty dishwasher. Fill it with about 1 cup of white vinegar. Run a hot cycle. The vinegar will gradually overflow and distribute through the wash, dissolving mineral deposits on the spray arms, the interior walls, and the heating element. Those specialty dishwasher cleaning tablets that cost $5 to $7 a box? This does the same job. Run it once a month and your dishwasher will perform like it did when it was brand new. Fix number 9. I have been a plumber for over 35 years. Now this is the big one. Personally installed most manufacturers both recommend and never even heard of, and plumbers charge anywhere from $150 to $300 for this service. You can do it yourself with a 5-gallon bucket, a small submersible pump, 2 washing machine hoses, and about 2 gallons of white vinegar. First, turn off the gas or power to the unit. Close both the hot and cold isolation valves on the heater. Connect one hose from the cold side service port to the pump sitting in the bucket. Connect the second hose from the hot side service port back into the bucket. Fill the bucket with 2 to 2.5 gallons of undiluted white vinegar. Open both service ports, turn on the pump, and let the vinegar circulate through the heat exchanger for 45 minutes to an hour. You will see the vinegar change color as it pulls out the scale. When it is done, close the service ports, disconnect the hoses, open the isolation valves, restore power, and run hot water for a couple minutes to flush the lines. The pump costs about $30 and you use it year after year. That is a one-time investment that saves you $150 or more every single year. Fix number 10. Melting hard water spots off chrome and glass. Those specialty hard water spot removers that run $7 to $12 a bottle. White vinegar. Soak a rag in undiluted vinegar and drape it over the chrome fixture or press it against the glass. Let it sit for 15 to 30 minutes. The spots will wipe right off. For shower glass, fill a spray bottle with equal parts vinegar and water. Spray the door down, wait 15 minutes, and squeegee. For really baked-on spots, use undiluted vinegar and give it a full hour. One thing, though, and this is important. Never use vinegar on natural stone like marble, granite, or travertine. The acid will etch and dull the surface permanently. Chrome, glass, porcelain, and ceramic are all fair game. Natural stone is not. Fix number 11. Loosening rusted nuts and bolts as a penetrating soak. When you are dealing with a corroded supply line nut or a rusted bolt on a toilet flange, and you do not have penetrating oil handy, vinegar works as a short-term soak. Pour or spray white vinegar directly onto the rusted fastener and let it sit for 30 minutes to an hour. For really stubborn ones, soak a rag and wrap it around the fitting, re-wetting every 20 minutes. The acetic acid breaks down the rust, which is iron oxide, just enough to get things moving. Now I will be honest, for heavy-duty rust, a commercial penetrating oil will work faster. But for moderate corrosion on plumbing fittings, vinegar gets the job done and you already have it in the house. That matters when it is 9 o'clock at night and the hardware store is closed. Fix number 12. Deodorizing drains and disposals. Those drain freshening packets and disposal cleaning pods that cost $5 to $8. Pour half a cup of baking soda down the drain. Follow it with 1 cup of heated white vinegar and let the fizzing action work for 15 minutes. Then flush with hot water for 30 seconds. For garbage disposals, do the same thing, but also toss in a few ice cubes and a handful of coarse salt after the vinegar treatment. Run the disposal for about 15 seconds. The ice and salt scour the blades and interior walls while the vinegar neutralizes odor, causing bacteria. Do this every couple of weeks and your kitchen drain will never smell like something died in it. Total cost per treatment? Less than $0.25. Now let me go over some important cautions, because this is where people get into trouble, and I want you to get this right. First, never use vinegar on natural stone. I mentioned it briefly already, but it is worth repeating, because this mistake is expensive. Marble countertops, granite vanity tops, travertine tile, limestone, all of these will etch and lose their polish permanently if you hit them with vinegar. Use a pH-neutral cleaner on natural stone always. Second, never mix vinegar with bleach. This is not optional. When acetic acid mixes with sodium hypochlorite, it creates chlorine gas that is genuinely dangerous. If you have just used bleach to clean something, rinse it thoroughly before applying vinegar. Do not combine them in the same bucket, spray bottle, or drain at the same time. Ever. Third, limit prolonged vinegar contact with rubber gaskets and seals. A quick soak or a few hours of contact is fine. But leaving vinegar sitting on rubber components for days, like inside a toilet tank over a long weekend, can degrade the rubber and cause it to swell or crack. Soak, flush, and move on. Fourth, always use standard 5% white vinegar. Do not grab cleaning vinegar, which is typically 6 to 10% acidity, unless you know what you are doing. The stronger concentration can damage finishes on certain fixtures and is harsher on gaskets. Regular grocery store white vinegar is all you need for every fix I just covered. Fifth, vinegar will not clear a true clog. It is a descaler and deodorizer, not a drain opener. If you have a fully blocked drain, you need a plumber's snake or a drain auger, not vinegar. Do not pour vinegar down a standing water clog and expect results. Sixth, rinse after every treatment. Whatever you soak, wipe, or circulate vinegar through, give it a good rinse with clean water afterward. This stops the acid from continuing to work on surfaces you did not intend to treat and eliminates the vinegar smell. Now here is that bonus tip I promised you at the beginning. If you have hard water, and roughly 85% of American homes do, you can use vinegar as a preventive maintenance routine instead of just a fix. Once a month, do the showerhead bag soak. Pop off your faucet aerators for a quick 2-hour vinegar bath. Run the washing machine vinegar cycle, and do the dishwasher cup trick. The whole routine takes about 10 minutes of your actual time since the vinegar does the work while you go about your day. What this does is prevent mineral buildup from ever reaching the point where things stop working. You will never have to replace a shower head because of clogged nozzles. You will never mistake a scaled-up aerator for a dying faucet, and your appliances will last years longer. I have been doing this in my own house for decades, and I have fixtures that are 15 years old that still perform like new. A gallon of white vinegar costs about $3 and lasts you 2 to 3 months of maintenance. Compare that to what you would spend on replacement parts, specialty cleaners, and service calls. Your grandparents had it figured out. They were not being cheap. They were being right. All right, that is the full breakdown. Remember, every single plumbing fix I wish homeowners knew about is in my book, 50 Easy Plumbing Fixes That Will Save You $10,000. Scan the QR code on screen right now or grab it from the first link in the description. I appreciate you watching, and if you want more of these practical fixes, make sure to subscribe. I will see you in the next one.